Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Laura, and I'd like to welcome you to Stitching by the Shore, my channel all about cross stitch with a little bit of paper crafting thrown in too. If you are new, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for pressing play, and I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like what you see, and I would love to know more about you, what you like to stitch, and all of that fun stuff. And if you're a returning stitching friend, thank you so much again for just coming and hanging out with me and stitching with me and all of your support and help when I need it and just sharing this love of cross stitch. So thank you. I have my usual dozen projects. I don't necessarily plan it that way, but it just seems to work out that at about that amount I can get done what I want to without overdoing, stretching myself, unless it's an event like a whip frenzy or something. And this way, and also it satisfies my need to jump around. I don't think I am so admirable of those of you who can stick with one stitch all the way through. I would get bored. I don't know. It just seems like there's so many good things that in the course of a day, I will touch 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches, depending on how much stitching time I had. And I just love it that way. So I don't know, I guess we each love our different way of stitching, and that's what makes it so awesome. Before I do start with my stitching, I want to send a huge, huge thanks out to Sharon for helping me navigate taking the Just Cross Stitch Land That I Love pattern to try to get it into markup. I was able to get it in markup. I'm not able to do some of the assigning of the symbols. It just doesn't like it. Although Sharon, your instructions were clear as day, but markup just doesn't like me. But I think it'll work for what I need it. I can mark off what I stitch at the very least. I can make it big so I can see the symbols. So thank you for taking the time to explain it to me. I'll stitch on that this week, and I'll show you all some of that next week. And I am trying really, really hard to try to get it also into Pattern Keeper. For those of you who are stitching along and would like it in Pattern Keeper, where I'm stumbling right now is in markup, I'm able to turn the pattern, but I can't in Pattern Keeper. If there is a way in Dropbox, which is the way I save my files, if there is a way in Dropbox to rotate it, then it may work. I did a lot of Googling, and it sounds like, I don't know if they took that feature away, if I just can't find it. So if you know how to turn a file in Dropbox, let me know, and I will continue to try that, so that I will do my best if somebody has Pattern Keeper and wants to do this, we can work on that for you. But Sharon, thank you. Alrighty, so let's get going on my projects. You know that I'm dabbling in Christmas in July. I'm not giving my whole July to it. In fact, my start this week was a summer start because I'm not giving up summer. I love it too much, and I love summer stitching and the brightness and the fun and the this and the that. So, but what I'm doing for Christmas in July is I'm bringing out projects that I haven't stitched on, maybe even this year, or I have, and I'm just giving them some more time and attention. And I have one start, which is technically a winter start, not a Christmas one. You'll see that, I think, at the very end today. So I'm dabbling. I'm doing a little bit here and there, but I'm not giving up my other stitching for it. So this first one, I haven't stitched, I don't think, at all this year. I had so much fun with it. I think I was trying to decide if there was a bigger piece that I wanted to kind of focus on. There might be too much on this one, and it's ChristmasTown by Stitchrovia, but I might every month try to get at least 500 stitches in. I don't think that would be enough to finish it, but maybe if I'm doing that, I'll want to do some more. So this is what it looks like. It's so much fun. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to stitch the pathways. You'll notice I didn't stitch up here inside the clouds. I might leave the pathways open. I am going to stitch where it's obviously snow, but you'll see with my fabric, I don't know about the other sections. I haven't really gotten to enough of that to tell, but look at, I got a good chunk of this tree done this time. I'm so excited. Let me move over a little bit so I can see what I'm showing you. This is 18 count. It's a white Aida, and I don't know if you can tell, but it is an opal, which is so much fun. And so that's why I was thinking when I get to the pathways, you know, it'd be a sparkling fabric. So it'd almost be like snow sparkle paths. You know, I thought about leaving the snow on the tree and everything as well, but I don't think with the path that would look good. So I am going to stitch the white wherever it's distinctly snow on top of something. I think there might be some, I don't know if there's any on the buildings or anything, a little bit here and there. So I'll stitch those. I did leave this window open, which I think I will keep it that way. It looks kind of cool because it gives it a little bit of a 3D dimension rather than everything being flat. And then as you can see here, those are left open. So I'm really, I've always enjoyed this one. I mean, it's Stitchrovia, so there's a ton of color changes and this, that, but I was able to kind of jump, you know, with the colors and get a good chunk here done. And then I think I added some more greens elsewhere. I concentrated, there's a couple different shades of green, and that's pretty much what I worked on this week. But I really enjoyed this. So this is going to come out again at least once more this July, if not for the next couple weeks of the month. And then I think I will try to get to it at least once a month from now until the end of the year, and we'll see. This one was started, I don't know if it was started in 2020 or 2021. I don't have my listings of my patterns, my projects here. It one or the other. So clearly, if it was 2020, it was at the end of 2020, you know, around Christmas time, which I may have started it at that point. I'm not 100% sure, but it's obviously even 2021. It could use a finish, and I just love Stitchrovia. She's so much fun to stitch. So yeah, so ChristmasTown. So you will see that now that I have really jumped into it and enjoyed it. You will see that again this month. Okay, so the next one. I hadn't necessarily planned on stitching this one, but on Instagram, Lisa, Lost in Stitches Lisa, hi Lisa, she's back. She's back to Instagram. She's back to floss tubing. She has a video out if you haven't seen it. Lisa, your stitching is just beautiful. I just love watching your videos. So this is a pattern charted by Lisa. So as soon as I saw she was back, I said, nope, I need to celebrate all things Lost in Stitches. And so I brought this one out again. And it doesn't hurt that it's actually quite fun to stitch. So this is called Christmas Band Sampler. And like I said, it's started by Lost in Stitches, Lisa. And I mean, it's not that many colors. So it kind of feeds my monochromatic bug a little bit, because you know how much I love monochromatic pieces. And let me show you where I am. Yay! So we've gotten to this other edge. So you can see there, I mean, and this is my piece of fabric already cut and everything. Hopefully I cut it right. I'm almost sure I did. 18 count Friendship Green by Fabrics by Stephanie. You know that's a favorite kind of neutral of mine. Blues and greens are my neutrals most of the time. And I just loved it because the greens that are used in the pattern are darker. So I think it's going to look really nice. Now, when I first started stitching this, both this way and this way, I was trying to do the entire section, both sides, and I was struggling a little bit. And then I discovered, you know, do half of it, work my way down, do the top half, then the bottom half. It was an epiphany for me. I found it so relaxing to stitch. So I actually, and you know me, I'm not necessarily always a border stitcher, and I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but I might do a good portion of the entire border before even getting to the middle. Usually I like to, and I get nervous with things lining up. So I say that, and then I'll probably do some of the middle just to make sure everything is lining up and I'm counting right. But it is so enjoyable. So if anybody wants to, if you would like a Christmas stitch that is pretty meditative, it's not a lot of color changes, and it's beautiful, beautiful. And you want to join me, let's do it. So I don't have any sort of hashtag. This is the Christmas band sampler. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, or, you know, something with Lost in Stitches. But if you would like to stitch it with me, it's gorgeous. If you go, Lisa has an Etsy shop. You can go there and pick it up. Maybe if I remember, I'll link it. And let's do this together. And I think it's going to be beautiful when it's done. And so this one is also another one that is not going to go away. Because now that I've discovered my groove, it was a game changer for me. And it was just very meditative and really nice to stitch. And it's all DMC. I think this red that I'm using right now is 816, and it's just beautiful. So I would love it to if you would want to join me with it. Lisa stitched it when she charted it, so I don't know if that's on. Lisa, is that on your Instagram? It's beautiful. It really looks lovely stitched up. And so and I think it could be done if you want something maybe done for Christmas. I mean, we're only in July, the middle of July. It's July 19th right now. So I think it could even be done before the holidays if you wanted something extra to put up for the holidays. So come join me. And Lisa, I'm so glad you're back. Okay, so next, this one, it's getting there. It is so close. Speaking of monochromatic love. So I didn't check because hashtags really don't work anymore, right? And if somebody has already done this hashtag, I'm jumping on their bandwagon. But I am loving so much for monochromatic pieces that I think I'm going to have a hashtag monochromatic Monday. And every Monday I'm going to try to pick at least one of my monochromatic pieces. I won't pull them all out on Mondays because I have like 6 or 7 now, I think. But I just love the pure joy of stitching the piece and seeing the parts come out without worrying about changing colors and stopping and starting. You just pull these long threads and you go. So hashtag monochromatic Monday. If you've already started one, let me know. I'm kind of pushing myself in. And if there isn't one, let's do it. Because and you're going to see from some of my shopping this week, I am all in on the monochromatics. But anyway, I digress. So this is Black Vintage Sampler from Owl Forest Embroidery. And I started this for my New Year, New Start in 2023. And my goal was to get it done sometime this year. I wish I could say I have it done to you at this point. I don't, but let me show you. So I did jump on Saturday evening. Well, it's afternoon for me. Look at this. I jumped on the Stitch Across the Pond Zoom, which is the second Saturday of every month. And it's such a lovely Zoom. So I was feeling kind of quiet and shy on Saturday. And it's one of those where they truly, if you just want to hang out and stitch and not say a word, they truly just, it's so welcoming and you feel what's comfortable for you. And, they give plenty of time for everybody to show their projects or answer the question and do all of that. And, I wasn't sure if I would talk. And I just was like, I'm just going to just stitch and enjoy listening. And that's what I did. And so it's quite lovely. But anyway, this is 18 Count Rainy Day by Bestitchme. Rainy Day is a lovely, lovely fabric. This is 18 count. I always kind of try to say whatever count in the sense of I love that color, but I don't know what it would look like in other counts or types of fabric because it all takes the dye different. So full, that's where we are. I did a lot on this border. I'm going to go sideways for a minute because as you can see, I'm adding and working up, and you could see I didn't even have to really look at the pattern anymore. I was just doing that design. So I have, what do I have left? 1, 2, 3 more of those bigger flowers to do. I have the leaves to do on either side of them, but that goes really fast. The inside of all of those, and yes, I do have the inside of these that I still have to do. I promise I remembered. I am not going to do underneath here. Do you see underneath what would be the tulips? Every single section has like a series of 4, kind of like what's in the middle of the flower underneath all of those. And I like it. I like it like this because I like the look of the tulip. Plus, if you look at this flower border, there's nothing else there. So I think I'm going to keep it that as is. I have a little bit of back stitching to do. And so rather than going to my next large quarterly piece, would you call it quarterly? Once a week? Whatever it is, you know the 4 pieces I have. I'm going to stick with this one. Nothing else. Next would have been the ill-fated summer Quaker, which we all know where that went. So I think this is good. I'm going to stick with this, get this finished, and coming off of the high of that finish, I'll feel ready to tackle whatever mistake I've made in summer Quaker. So you won't see summer, Quaker, spring, Quaker, or fish and chips, I think, unless they just get pulled out for an event for a short number of stitches until this one is finished. Now, I don't know. So I gave it 500 stitches this week. I don't know if 500 will finish it. Oh, gosh. Oh, I love it. But, ooh, right above me. Is it, I don't know. Is it thin enough? I know somebody had said what they thought would look really good right here against this wall. And I am solidly in the camp. I'm in my I'll be 55 this year. So you can get where my brain is at this point in my life. And literally I'm talking, and the most common of words, menopausal brain fog is a thing. The most common of words will all of a sudden just disappear. So if I have to remember things bigger than that, sometimes it's just like, I don't know what I was trying to say. But I did have a suggestion for this wall. I just don't remember now what it was. I am, if you've ever wondered, I do look at every single comment, and then I want to go back and answer so many. So there are outstanding comments all the time, and I just, because I'm like, oh, I want to say this and I want to say that, and then kind of life gets away from me. I always see every one of your comments, though. Please know that your efforts, I do see them. And one of these days, I'm just going to sit down and just have a frenzy. So you never know when you may get that response from me. But anyway, there it is. I know I've shown this for about 10 minutes, but I love it. If you would like to see one completely completed, and let me make sure I link Mary Stitching Corner. She finished hers. She's getting it framed, and sneak peek, I saw it framed, and it's beautiful. I can't wait till she shows it to all of you on your on her next video. But I want to say it might have been a couple videos ago, because she was sending it to be framed, but she had it finished, and it was just, or was it longer than that? I don't know. Mary, how long has it been, so I can direct people to whatever video? But it's just such a beautiful piece, completely finished. So in the meantime, while you're waiting on me, you can check out Mary. And I'm not going to say next week, because we've got company this pretty much until my next week's video. So stitching could be, well, I'll get morning stitching in because they're not early risers. But stitching could be, I don't think I'll get quite as much as I might have been able to get accomplished done. So that's all right. It's going to get done by the end of 2024. I can say that now. All right, moving on. This piece just seems to pop up every few weeks because I just love stitching it. It is the Signs Series Summer from Twin Peak Primitives. Now, you know there are a few mistakes here and there. So if you do stitch this and you want to reach out to me, I'll tell you where I found mistakes. Most notably, the pole. Be careful of that because the top of the pole is not even with the rest of the pole. But there's such lovely chunks of color. And it's so cute as the piece comes alive and comes together that I just keep stitching it regardless. So here we are. This is 18 count Carmel Macchiato by Fabrics by Stephanie. And so I've extended all the way out. That's as far, I mean, this does come to a point, so I didn't do that part yet. I am going to be careful with this because I'm recharting it to say Delaware. I've said this before, but I think every single letter I need, because I live in Delaware if you're new, every letter I need is in the chart because they don't give you an alphabet or anything. But I think I'll be okay. I don't think I have to make up any of them. And then as you can see there, I did some of, I'm figuring I'm going to do the full outline of it, chart the letters. I mean, the fish on the end I could do because they're going to be fine. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's also 8. They're both 8 letters, but things like the W are probably a little bit wider. So it might take a little bit more space, but I thought that would be fun. But I did some more of that. I figured that's kind of just white stitching. That's not super fun. So I got that done. And then I started to work on this row here. So this one will say Welcome Summer. And so I started filling in this part. That'll come, actually, that's as far down as that it's going to go. So that's going to be a lot of fill in. So when I feel like that'd be great, actually fill in for like zoom stitching, to be honest with you. And then there's a tiny little bit of the pole that's right below that sign. So it'll probably go till about here. This is a scrapbook piece, so I'm not really worried about my borders. I'm cutting it fairly close, but this will be a tight through the edges here, and then top and bottom. I'll probably have a fairly tight margin. I don't think I'll have a lot of the extra fabric, although it is pretty. I really do like this one for the beachy look. So just kind of structural stitching, but I don't know how many other parts of these, how many others. I think they have a farm one if you were a farm stitcher, farm animal stitcher. I'm not 100% sure, but it's kind of like your tier trays, right? And it's just a lot of fun. So this one does come out on a fairly regular basis just because sometimes I just need, well, more and more often I like the block stitching, and you know, if that's what brings me joy on a given day stitching, then that's what I'm going to stitch. This one has also not seen, a lot of my Christmas have not seen a lot of stitching. I probably have about 8 or 9 Christmas pieces, so not a ton. And a lot of them have a tendency to be a little bit bigger. So that's partly why they are kind of hanging around. But I decided to pull this one out. I was able to put it into Pattern Keeper. So that's also, now that I have Pattern Keeper and I sort of have markup. I don't know if any of you watched Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. So she started her new format. It's lovely. You know, she's going to put everything in her weekly videos. And so this week, this was the very first one of the new format. And I love the stitch piece she's doing. I'm so tempted to start that one. She did a little tutorial of markup because she had just gotten markup. And she was like, oh, that's not working 100%. Let's just fix that. And it magically worked. I had to laugh when I said, it doesn't magically work for me. It goes the other direction for me. So if you'd like to see a nice tutorial, go check out Elizabeth Ann. I mean, I'll put her down. I know most of you are already watching her because she's just so lovely. But I did have to laugh because everything just worked perfectly when she was doing it, and not me so much. But this does go in Pattern Keeper. I did have to input the DMC colors, but again, so intuitive. I didn't have to follow any tutorials. I was able to figure out, I clicked this button and boom, I was able to do it. So I'm telling you, this brain right here really loves Pattern Keeper, but this will make this one a lot easier to stitch. It's charted lovely, and I, for the life of me, can't remember it. I haven't stitched it since last year, so I don't remember where I got this from. I'll tell you down in the description box which shop on Etsy. I know it was from Etsy. It's called Christmas Deer. I just loved all the pink. Now that pink is a bit brighter than this pink. This one's a bit more mauve-y, but I think it'll be pretty once it's done. So I'm not necessarily upset with that. So you can see that's the width. This is my cut piece. So it's going to be long. It's going to be, it's not what they call the story keeps. Is that what the long pieces are on Heaven and Earth? I don't know. Kind of reminds me of that. So here I am. This one got 650 stitches this week. So I thought that was pretty good. I had to, because first I had to put in everything I had stitched into Pattern Keeper first. So that took up some of my stitching time. And then I was able to put in 650 more stitches. I'm still, I mean, they'll be like over here with the little ornaments hanging off of the deer's antlers. Oh, and there's a cute little blue bird. I guess it would be over on this side that I haven't gotten to yet. Kind of surprised. I would have thought I'd hit that already. I must be getting ready to. So there'll be some confetti, but there's some huge chunks of the pinks are some huge chunks of color, especially one or two of them, and then you fill in with others. So now that it's on the device, it'll go much faster. But at least it got 650. I think, I don't have my little library card here with me. I think I had set 1,500 as the goal for this one this year. So it has to come out at least again once. I mean, these goals now are being shattered in a lot of cases now that I have Pattern Keeper, because I can get so much more stitching done. But that one's a Christmas one, so I don't know necessarily if I'll pull it out as often as some of the other ones, which I really love. Okay, so I pulled this out because, you know, it's not going to get done sitting in my pile. And it is Christmas in July. So I pulled out Sleigh Ride. This is my first and only Mill Hill kit I have going at this point. I haven't gotten to the beading yet, so I can't say whether or not I'm going to like it. And that's where I am. So you can't, it's hard to see, but I put in, you know, at the bottom here before we have the beads, there's all of that white. So I stitched that. I stitched the bottom of the Sleigh. I started this one because it reminds me so much of my little shamrock. So this will be a memory piece. And I want lots and lots of shamrock ornaments as a reminder on my tree. I have that other one that I've stitched, and then I stitched those for the kids. I don't know if I have that one for myself, but this will be a shamrock memory piece. And yeah, so this one is easy figuring out the colors, which I do like. I picked one where I didn't have a lot of colors that I had to figure out which one was which. So that's been helpful. I'm not used to stitching with 3 strands, but that's okay. That's fine. I'm okay with using, I guess this is perforated paper. I've never used it before. It's very thick, so I don't know. Do they use anything else besides that? And the holes are big, so I do have to be careful because the needle seems to fall right back out again on me. But it's a learning curve, and I'm just plugging along. So this one will probably take like 5 years to stitch, but it will get there eventually. So I did pull that out though. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll try to pull that one out again at least before the end of the year. It'll probably come back again in December if nothing else. Okay, this next one. This one is the pattern. I'm going to show it from a distance, but I got to tell you, it's very, I don't know if pixelated is the word. So even if you screenshot it, you're not going to be able to figure out half of this stuff anyway. So you're better off just searching for it. But you know, for those of you who don't know, my husband Mo is a huge Aston Villa Football Club fan. So this year is our 25th wedding anniversary, and I thought, well, it'll be fun to stitch that for him. And it's tiny, and I'm stitching it on 20 count. So I've got it on the screen, so you think, oh, this is going to be a humongous piece. Nope, it's tiny. But that's okay, because he's not going to want a giant piece. This he'd probably put in the bookshelves of his office. So you can see that's, you know, that's halfway. So it's probably just going to go right here. I am not, so this pattern is fairly on the older side. So the word prepared is no longer on there. Do they call it the badge? Okay, all my UK friends, are these called badges? They might be. I shouldn't talk so loud. Mo's right downstairs. I'm trying to keep this a surprise. I don't know. He may know about it for all I know. So I moved the lion down a little bit, and there'll be no word there. And what else? This is 20 count, what is it, Slate from Barbaraana Whim. And I'm using 1 strand, and I'm using Sulkies. So these are the 3 that I pulled out. As you can see, I've got all 3 colors going so far. And there is a star. I have to look to see. I'll have to look on their current. I know they now have a circular one, which I think Mo prefers this shape one. So I'll have to look and find this one and see if the star is still there or not. And so I'll just grab some white Sulky. That's not a big deal. I am really enjoying the 1 strand of Sulky. I prefer it actually to the 1 strand of DMC or Cosmo. Cosmo's my least favorite for the 1 strands, but the Sulky is quite nice. So I did more of the lion. In theory, what I was going to do was I was going to outline the entire thing so I could just fill in. And then I just kept doing the rows. I don't know, I was enjoying it that way. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it that way for now. I added some more of the maroon, and I did add some more of the blue because I figured that's going to be a bear, right? To fill in all of that. That'll be great for zoom stitching. I generally try to, Mo's downstairs. I could hear him come up before he'd get up here. So if I was stitching this when he was home, I could put it away. But a lot of times I wait till he's not in the house and then I stitch it just so there's no issue at all. But our anniversary is in September, and this one's going to be easy. Obviously, I'll either flat fold it or make it make it a leaner. I like to make leaners. What I like is what I call them. Like this, this one I consider a leaner. So it's just the flat, and then it just leans against something. So I could see doing that with this, and he can lean it against something on the bookshelf, or I could frame it. We'll see what the final is, and it depends on how I want to show it off. There is another border around here, and I need to look at what the official one was. If there is another border, then I might do white between the 2 borders, or we'll keep it this color. I'm not sure. So I have to do a little research with this, but it's coming along. So what are we now? July? Ooh, I only have 2 months. So I definitely I need to pick this one up again. Because it's not going to be hard, but there's way more stitches there than you realize, even though it's a small piece. So yeah, so that's coming along. We don't have huge plans for our 25th, but we do have a small little kind of adventure that we have been planning for our 25th wedding anniversary. So that's fun and something to look forward to. Okay, next. This was the other full coverage piece that I did. And this one's called Mini One. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And the artwork is by Zindy Nielson. And I love the colors of this one. I mean, I'm not anywhere near. I can't wait till I have all of the horizon done. Because right now, a lot of what I've got done is a lot of these colors, plus a little bit down this way. And then the darker colors to bring in her on the beach. I think is going to be so fun. I have seen it once. I'm pretty sure I've seen this one finished, probably on the Heaven and Earth site or Facebook page. And it just looked so lovely. But I have a long way to go yet. This is the mini though, so it's not as huge as, what it could be. This is 18 count white Aida, like the other one, which I don't think I said, 2 strands over 1 full cross. So that's where I am. And if I look, I know I did over 1,000. I did 1,120 stitches on this one this week. So I thought that was pretty good. I have already surpassed the goal, but like I said, with Pattern Keeper now, the goals for this year, because when I made those in the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, I didn't have Pattern Keeper. So it would have taken me a lot longer to do the stitches that I've been doing. I'd have been lucky probably to do 500 in the week rather than 1,100, just because now it just zips along. But I did a combination everywhere. I filled in here. I did some up top here, fill in. I worked my way down this way, and I was filling in some of the pieces here. So I really kind of jumped all over. That's really what I do. I had thought about coming down to this bottom. I don't know how, I guess it would go down to here. This is the top. But I think maybe because I was like, whoo, there's a long way to go yet, I decided to do some more fill-in of these colors. So it's coming along. These all are, you know, it's just such a joy to stitch them. I mean, and really, once they're all finished, where the heck am I putting all of them? I mean, there's only so much wall space. So I'm just enjoying the journey with them. And if that means I start another 10 in the next 6 months, I'm not sure I plan on doing that, but you know what I mean. I don't really worry about it. I'm just going to enjoy stitching. Okay, next. This is the one I thought for sure I was going to get a finish to you. But Barbaraana, I love her stitches, love her designs, love the looks of them, but man, they get so fiddly at the end, or at least for me, because I always do the big chunks of color first, and then I leave all the fiddly bits to the end. This is Blue Dreams. I started this last summer. I want to say probably something like August 1st. I don't think I have when that was started in my... There is a stitch along though, which I started in 2023, and it is hashtag, I want to say, oh yes, hashtag stitchbarbaraana Sal, which basically is stitch any Barbaraana at any time. So it's a never ending hashtag. My hashtags don't have finishes. Sometimes they have start dates, but they don't have finish dates because part of it is a start along, right? And then we'll get to them when we get to them. Plus something like this, it could be any Barbaraana. My pumpkin birthday stitch along, as long as I'm having birthdays, we're having a pumpkin birthday stitch along. So here it is. If you were to look quick, you'd say, oh, that's done. But no, there is just some little fiddly stuff, I think, down here, a little fiddly stuff up here. So it's almost done. And I'm going to do the happy dance next time you see this because it will be done. Look at this fabric. Isn't it gorgeous? It's 18 count tropical for Fabrics by Stephanie. And I have a whole other half. I wonder, you know what I have right here? I have my Halloween just cross stitch. Look at this. What do you think? That might be fun. It's probably a little bit lighter than this fabric, but that could be really a lot of fun. I might do that because I've been wanting to stitch this one. So we'll see. And like I said, I have plenty of fabric. But that's where I am. Next time you see this, I promise will be a finish. I was working on this and I was working for, I don't even know. It might have been a couple hours for all I know. And I had 60 stitches done because it's so, and I was even at that point, I wasn't even watching Flosstube. I was listening to a book so that I didn't have my eyes, you know, popping up to see all the beautiful stitching. And it still was dragging. So I think I have another cloud and it's almost there, but it's one of those where you will stitch an hour and you'll have about 15 stitches done. And it gets a little frustrating. So that's why I ended up, I couldn't do it. I had to put it away because I was feeling a little frustrated with the lack of progress. So almost there. It'd be nice to call this one a July finish. So you know what? I'm going to keep this one out. And probably not over the weekend because if I'm doing some sort of whip frenzy. But the start of next week, let's see if maybe I can, we'll see. It depends on my stitching time. That's true. So if not next week, then the week after. One of those weeks, we'll get some stitching done. I feel lopsided. My top keeps turning to one side. Okay, next. Oh, I have no idea. I just had a crystal. Oh, you know what? The crystal probably came from me. We have a flat back crystal that I'll just use it for paper crafting now since it's come off my top. Anyway. I should have chaos just as a sign around me because it feels like half the time my brain and everything else is in chaos. This is Wings of Change by Silver Creek Samplers. And what I knew this, right? But you don't always know it. Silver Creek Samplers and Cottage Garden Samplings, they're sneaky. You'd say, okay, this is not that big. This is pretty small. This will take no time to stitch. They pack so many stitches into their tiny little pieces. It's kind of like, you know, I'm doing, for example, the turkey from the year pieces that where each month had like something holiday, and whatever the turkey is way more stitches than you would ever think possible. Same thing with these. So you'd think I'd be farther along. I put in 500 stitches on this and I'm still stuck in the flower. How is that possible? So 18 count bell bottom blues. Let me see. Yep, from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. Isn't this pretty? Look at this. And I have a ton of it left. So I wasn't sure of my fabric choice when I first started stitching just this part of the flower. But now that I have the inner, and this will be all pretty full except for the outer edges. And then you're going to bring in the, I was going to say yellows, the oranges from the butterfly and the raspberry sort of deep color there for the words, and I think it's gonna look pretty in the end. I did question myself, but and I have seen this flower stitched in purples and it's beautiful. So if you are not a fan of these colors and you want to go purple, which I'm too far along now, because if I hadn't started it, I would have considered the purples, to be honest with you. But so my goal is to try to get the flower done, because I almost jumped to the words, but I know those will go pretty quickly and I need to get this finished and just buckle down and do it. So there is a hashtag. Several people started this with me. It's hashtag butterfly wings Sal. So if you'd like to jump along with us, we would love to have you stitch this with us. And like I said, Silver Creek, they're so fun to do, as well as Cottage Garden. You just got to prepare. The butterfly is proof that you can in darkness be transformed too. So it's just a lovely, lovely saying. And it is in the bag that my stitchy friend made me as they're stitching along with me. And there's a little butterfly charm and everything else. So back it goes right into its bag. Thank you. I love it. Okay. Next. This is the start. Excuse me. Tickle in my throat. I'm just going to have a real quick sip of water. I put water in the coffee mugs. Does anybody else do that? I put tea in here too, so then my water kind of vaguely tastes like tea. Especially the fruity teas. Okay, where is it? I mentioned a few weeks ago that I had bought this. This is called Hello Summer. It's from Erin Elizabeth Designs. If you'd like to see it stitched up and finished, she's amazing. Helen D. You know, you gotta love Helen. Her stitching is amazing and her finishing is inspiring, and oh, it's just so much fun to see her. But anyway, she showed this a few weeks ago and I had seen it on Instagram, but then once I'd seen it also stitched, it was beautiful. I am changing it slightly. I'm not going to have it say Hello Summer, but if you'd like to see it stitched with the words, go check out Helen. So in the end, I mean, in some cases it'll be easy. I just need to fill in whatever word, like where that is, I'll just do the red, right? Now, I think what I might try to do, because this is spaced because of the wording, is bring the seagull slightly over and bring the lighthouse slightly over. So it's a little bit smushed in, not a lot, but I don't need the big space because I don't have the words. And I figure if there is some empty space, you see how there's different birds flying? I can, like this one here, I'm going to actually put down a little bit. It doesn't need to be as close to the sun. And, you know, I might put a few down here versus just up there because I won't have the words. Now, you would have thought, because if you know me, you'd say, well, Laura, you must have started this in blue. And I thought about it. And the blues in here are fairly on the darker side, but I was going through my scraps and I saw this is Lotus, which is a light purple from Bestitchme, 18 count. And I've used purple before for summer. I've used it for Christmas. I love using very light lilacs for things. And I said, you know what? It's almost like, you know, that sky when it's got the pinkish purpley sort of glow to it. That's what this scene is going to be. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of colors on it yet, so it doesn't look like much. I've got the sun completely finished, and then this is the pole for the sailboat, and there were a few spots where you would have had part of the words, and I wanted to get that all stitched so that I knew my counting was right on that, because I'm not, both the edge of the swirly of the hello and the lines of summer went into this, so I wanted to get that just set in my mind. So it's probably only a couple hundred stitches, but it was a nice little start. I just started this one, was it yesterday? It might have been yesterday. Yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. You know, so it just got some brief amount of stitching in, but just enough to get it started. And it'll be a quick stitch. It's not a humongous piece. What is it? What does it say here? It might be 70 by 70 if I had, yes, 70 by 70. So this was stitched on 28 count, and it was a 5 by 5. So you can see, obviously, it's going to be less than that. And it might, on one side, be slightly even in from there if I decide to bring in the lighthouse and the birds a bit. So that's my start. I don't necessarily think I'm going to get that one finished by the end of the summer, but I'll just stitch along when I feel like it. It was fun, and I didn't need it, but I wanted to do a fun summer start. It's warm here again, but I really, really can't handle being cold, so I am soaking up all of this heat as much as I can handle. So I'm just enjoying summer as much as I can, and that means summer stitching. My very last piece I did start this month. This was started at the beginning of the month, as my first Christmas in July. Ironically, there's nothing Christmas about it. It's snowman kisses. I mean, it can be snowy, and you can have snowmen at Christmas time. It doesn't feel like it anymore. We don't seem to get much snow before the new year, but something about it. It was cute. It was small, so I figured it'd be fast. And Primrose Cottages are fairly easy stitches. So, and it has most definitely turned into that. So I said, you know what? I'm calling it a Christmas stitch. I'll put it out with my Christmas stuff. It's going to be a little long for an ornament by the time I have everything done. So I think I might make it a leaner, and either it'll go on my shelves, or it might go, I have one of those small trees and the black metal trees. And at the bottom, usually I put some sort of like, it's a baby blanket, but it's the Christmas skirt because it's small, and I don't sew, so I can't make a skirt myself for it. But you can then lean stuff up against it. So it could be almost like the little presents under the tree, be little leaners. Because it's probably got right here, because I've got to have, once I have the snowman finished, and that's the bottom of a snowman, just the word kisses is below that. So I'd say it's about right there. Almost done. This one's definitely going to be done for Christmas. In fact, it might be a start and a finish for the month of July, for Christmas in July. So that'd be kind of fun if I can get one of them started and finished for the month. This is 18 count Stream from Fiber Whim. Isn't it lovely? I love blue for Christmas stitching, winter stitching, all of that, especially winter stitching. And this one, the white pops so nicely, and there is like some movement to it. The modeling is very, very, very light. Even on the camera, it doesn't look very much, but it's almost like just hints of color changes, which is really nice. And all the other colors really pop nicely on it. So at this point, I have this other snowman to finish. I have another tree over here, the word kisses, which will go fast, and some snowflakes. And they do have some stray, like confetti-like snowflakes, which we'll see. I may or may not do. This is pretty dark, so I could carry the white thread behind it. I don't think it'll be a problem. And I mean, this is going to be finished against white comic book board anyway, so it should be fine. And maybe if I do like one layer of batting to poof it a little bit, you wouldn't even notice. So if I'm feeling it, and I feel like I'm lopsided, I may carry, and I may do all of them, or I might not. But this one, I think a good sit-down stitching session could get this one finished. So hopefully next time you see it, and it is in my shamrock bag. I love this bag from Tammy. Anything with shamrock, you know, just warms my heart. Next time you see it, hopefully you will get a finish on that one. So that's it. That's my stitching. Yay! So plans. What are my plans? Well, I did sign up and I got my ticket for the Midsummer Stitch. I'm calling it the Midsummer Magical Stitch. Just because in my brain, I feel like that's what it should be. And, but Megan and Liz are coming in tonight. They're here all weekend. It's Mo's birthday weekend. I am hoping just to be able to pop in and out, say hi. I don't even know if I'll get much stitching time on there, but hopefully. I mean, I figured, it was $8. It's fine. If I get a chance to say hi, pop in for an hour or two, no problem. And so yeah, so that's partly plans this weekend, but you know, I'm not doing a ton of that, to be honest with you. I would love to spend the entire weekend doing so, and you know, if it wasn't Mo's birthday weekend, I would. So Lindy Stitches did not plan that according to my schedule very well. I'm just kidding. But so it is the way it is. It'll be fun. I know there's other Zooms. I know Crafts and Books from Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, has got an entire Zoom weekend this weekend. Sunday would have been the non-event day for me, but that's Mo's actual birthday, so I don't know if I'll be able to. Hopefully, maybe I can pop in and say hi, but you know, I never have anything going on. I live a pretty quiet life, and this weekend is just going to be a busy weekend, just the way it is. So that's that. Where are they? I pulled out, you know how I got in that kit of ugly sweater diamond painting ornaments. You can see here, they're not done yet. Aren't they cute? These are two of them, which the sad thing is I probably have sweaters that look like this. So I am the epitome of ugly Christmas sweater wearing come the holiday. You know that if you've been here. I pull them out every Christmas season. I opened it up because I was like, okay, let's get everything and figure out what I'm doing and get some of these diamond painted. And I realized there was not a lick of instructions in there. Now, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but I did ask on my Facebook page, Stitching by the Shore, if anybody had advice for me, and lots of great advice. So I'm going through, taking notes, and then hopefully maybe this week. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if I want to make a mess on my table if they're around. If not this week, then the following week. We'll see. But at least right now I'm getting things that I didn't realize I needed to know. So that was helpful with that. So thank you to all you who have given me advice. And if you are an expert at diamond painting and you want to say, make sure you know XYZ, whatever it is, feel free to leave me a comment on that one. So at some point, I'll be maybe just getting these together, if nothing else. And, if some get done this, I mean, it's a set of 12. I don't think they're all going to get done this season, but if some get done, that would be fun. Maybe next week on that. So we've got that. Then we're gearing up for the Winter Olympics event, right? Nap Time Stitcher. I'm almost sure. In fact, I think I have, I don't know if I have it on here in these pictures. I had taken a picture, but I think it was with my phone. And I don't have everything synced. No, I don't. Okay, so Nap Time Stitcher, I'm almost sure, has the Summer Olympics event. So looking forward to it. I have not picked a lick of any of the projects with the prompts yet. I'm going to put the prompts and everything in my challenge book right here. I'm almost done in July. I've got my 2 acrostics that I'm working on. I'm having trouble with the letter I. They both have the letter I, so it's going to be the same for both of them. And I did they both have K, and I put Kringles for K, and you know I've been dragging my feet on Kringles, so I've got to get going on that. But I haven't even done anything yet. I was thinking, use my markers, make Olympic rings, we'll see. I was also thinking, Naptime Stitcher has a PDF that you can, or things that you can print off, and I was like, oh, maybe I print it off, cut and paste them on there, and then put what I've stitched for each prompt. We'll see. I don't know yet. Amy from Renewing Stitches, hi Amy, had said, well, what if you tried to take the prompts and try to do a full finish? Because, you know, I'm woefully behind on my 55 full finishes for this year. I'm intrigued, but I'm also not sure I can give that much creativity to full finishing for 3 weeks, or I don't know how many days it is, 2.5 weeks straight. So I definitely want to pick a stitch. So in a perfect world, if I was truly creative, I would do a stitch and a finish each day that followed the prompt. I don't think that's going to happen, but you know, I'm going to at least look at the prompts, pull out what I have, because I still have a lot that I need to fully finish. The scrapbooking, you'd be surprised. I put a lot of effort into it, even though sometimes it looks very simple. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes the colors just go and it doesn't take me long at all. But it's just a matter of pulling out a whole nother set of supplies, because while I am sort of cluttered, I'm also sort of organized. So all of that is always put away. And so we'll see. But Amy, it is a really, really good idea, and I might give it the college try. The other thing I'm kitting up, I talked about Yellow Submarine from Blackbird Designs. And you know, I talked about changing up the color. This, I don't know if it was done. What was it done? Cedar Plank from Lakeside Linens. So I would call this a gray, kind of almost like a denim-y gray. But I want to make it, I think, brighter, because I want the submarine I want the color to also complement the brightness of the submarine. Does that make sense? Now I have I pulled out 5 blues. I think the darker ones are not going to happen, but let me show you the 5 I pulled out, because you know, I only have 1,000,001 blues. Blue is my color. Blue is my neutral. So those are the blues that I had pulled out. And the thing is, with the darker ones, these 3 especially, you know, there are darker blues. Like, okay, the submarine would pop like crazy, but a lot of the other stuff would really fade in. And I don't necessarily want to spend the time stitching all of that for it to completely fade in. This one, you know what? No, this one might still work. This is Dive In from Bestitchme. So these 2, I think I've said no to. This one, though, I need to do something really pretty on, because it's gorgeous. That's Ocean Blue by Bestitchme. So then I have Ernest Emma from Those Missing Stitches. This is April Showers from Bestitchme, or Dive In from Bestitchme. And I'm wondering, this one, I was originally going towards April Showers, but I'm wondering if it's too bright. I'm going to pull all of the flosses, because if I look at the colors, this one is bright, this Dive In. Oh, I wonder if yeah, I should. It's not that big a piece, so I should have enough, because I've used this before already. But, or if I want to go in a completely different, no, it's not that stark. It's completely not that stark, but there is some modeling, which would be kind of cool too, because then it would, you know, give, depending on where I put it, it would give it some texture. So these are the 3 that think I'm going with, unless you have a really strong argument for one of the other 2. So we have bluer, we have bright, and then we have in between. Do you have a preference? I know, you're telling me I have to pull the flosses, because that's really going to tell the story. I want to make sure that the only thing on this one I'm afraid of is that the submarine might not pop as much as I want it to, which is why this one might work better, or maybe even this one. But I think even those blues would look, this is the darkest one I would go, and I think those blues would look good even with that. So I am hard at work pulling out fabric for that. So I should pull the floss. Now, you know that I stitch generally DMC. It's charted in All Gentle Arts, but Blackbird are lovely. They pieces that they feel like there should be some variegation, they give to DMCs together. Well, what I was thinking was, you know that I've been making a habit of buying some Stitchy Stuff Co., some cotton variegated flosses from there, Roxy Floss, and Dying for Cross Stitch. So what I might do is go through, and I might have bought a few more this past week, go through and just find colors that I like according to the DMC and add them in. I want to say like these blues might be a blend and stuff. So I might add some of my own variegated rather than buying the called fors. And I think what's important too is because I'm changing the fabric, I have to make sure that they look good on whatever fabric choice I make. So what might be called for here for this fabric might not look as good on the one I choose. So any thoughts or ideas on fabric? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you'd like to join me, yay, let's do it. I am going to do this in August at some point. So I have to make the decision. And you know, there's a couple of different Blackbird Beetles stitch alongs, so I'll be hashtagging those for sure when I do get this started. And so yeah, so let me know. So that is something I'm kitting up, and we'll see if I get it. But the Lighthouse from Cottage Garden Samplings from this year's series, the Houses series, I adore it. It's on the please notify me when it comes in from 123. So I haven't bought it yet because it's not in yet. So as soon as that happens too, that would be one I think I'd really like to start this August as well. So neither one of those were planned August starts, and here I am throwing them into the August mix. So, and I know Andrew, the runner stitcher, let me write down Andrew. I love his channel. He is starting Comfort Lighthouse, which I stitched a few years back, and having a lighthouse stitch along. And he had said, pick a lighthouse and join us. So if I do get that one in and I start it, I'm joining in on that stitch along. Okay, so those are kind of the plans such as they are, right? They're all kind of loosey and goosey and just out there. Shopping. I actually did get some shopping this week. Sometimes it's more and sometimes it's less. So fabric of the month from Under the Sea Fabrics. If you do not want to see, look away. Let me see if I can tell you the name without giving anything away. Uranus, yeah, I can. That's the name of it. So look away if you don't want to see. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show it. It's 18 count Aida. Very pretty. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I've put it away. Okay, next. Those Missing Stitches. You know Lynn has become one of my favorite fabric dyers. And so what she does, she has an Etsy shop. She has one piece, Darling David, which is one of my favorites, that's available all year long. Everything else is a rotation. And every quarter so far this year, excuse me, I have the itchy nose from Flosstube, she dyes some new colors and she takes them in and out of the vault, so to speak. Some are monthly, some are quarterly, however it works. So I always at the beginning of the quarter want to look first to see what her new colors are, and as well as what's available from the vault, because I love her stuff so much that, you know, like if say Compelling Conscious was not available except for a 3-month period and I want some of that to supplement, then I would pick some up, kind of thing. So July 1st came, I was like, look, buy, and all set. So Lynn sends little book kind of, they're not are they stickers? I don't know. I can use adhesive to adhere them to my stitching journals. Lynn always sends a few, I'm going to call them stickers. They're so pretty. Perfect for journaling and planning, and my planner, I should say. Those will go in my planner. And then I guess, are these officially called scissor fobs? What I do is I put them on any project bags I have that don't have anything on the zipper. I think these are fun to put on. And this one's cute. It's got the little Alice in Wonderland rabbit. I don't know what he's called. But so that's pretty. So that's going to go on a project bag. And then, let's put that over there. So fabrics. So the first two I'm going to show you, I bought 4. First 2 are previous ones that have come out for this quarter. This one I bought as a 20 count, which I don't do often, but it's a nice neutral. It's called Sensitive Sylvie. So it looks a little gray, but it's kind of more blue than gray. But I thought, how perfect on a 20 count, there's lots of things that would look pretty on that. So if I wanted to make something a little bit smaller, I have that. So that'll go in my, I don't have a huge 20 count stash, but every once in a while I buy a couple just to kind of put it in the stash. This one was purposely, Lynn put out this quarter thinking about Halloween stitching. It's called Genuine Jillian, 18 count. And it's so pretty. I would like to stitch, what's the autumn? So Autumn Lane stitch, is it when witches go riding? Something like that. Autumn Lane, I like the Autumn Lane one, and that's basically monochromatic, right? I think Lynn stitched it on this, well, whatever count she used, but her Genuine Jillian. Plus, I also, Autumn Lane's Halloween box last year, Helen D has been stitching kind of like one of their towns with it. And so that should be available some point, maybe September-ish. And I think this would be pretty potentially for that as well. I may, depending on how many Halloween stitches I have, I might end up buying one more piece of this before it goes back in the vault. But if you're looking for some beautiful orange kind of fabric, little grungy, little bit, not like in your face orange, this would be great, because I would consider this pumpkin color for my pumpkin birthday stitch along. There's your pumpkin covered. Pick it up this quarter, because it'll be gone then by the 4th quarter. And then these 2 are new colors. This first one is called Captivating Cassette. And this, again, like usual, the camera's picking up the modeling much stronger than it is. It's very subtle. She does a really great job of doing variations of color without it being in your face. Now, what I thought I would do, because as I'm getting a stash of Lynn's supplies, I wanted to show you, this is a great neutral. I wanted to show you in relation to Darling David. Now, Darling David is available year-round, which is such a beautiful thing, because look at how gorgeous that is. So Darling David as a neutral is more on the yellowy tones, and this one, Captivating Cassette, is more on the brown tones. So I really, really like that one, because I do like kind of the traditional neutrals sometimes. So it's nice to have some in my stash. And then this last one, you knew I'd have to get it, because she described it as kind of a denim color. Devoted Dobbin. Isn't that beautiful? And that's about the color. And if you think denim, that's exactly what it is. And I wanted to show you, because I did have questions. This is the fabric I'm using for my Quaker flag from Vivsters. This is called Brave Boromir. And a couple times I've been asked if it's blue. And so I thought, how perfect to show you, because it's not. It's more gray. It's a beautiful gray, don't get me wrong. And it's on the bluish, the cool gray tone, not the warm gray tone, which I prefer. I prefer cool grays. But you can see, if you wanted more blue, Devoted Dobbin is the way to go. And it's such a pretty color. I think it'll be nice anyway. But that's what the difference is. And so this is it on its own. So those are the fabrics that I picked up. Lynn's, her customer service is fantastic. She doesn't take super long to hand dye these pieces. They come in pretty quick, and I can't recommend her enough. She is just so lovely. Okay, then the only other thing I was influenced, because, we stitchers like to influence each other. And I have 2 different floss tubers to blame for this. The very first one, and yes, I have. Christine from Stitching in the Burrow is stitching this. These are digital patterns from Lena Ova. And this is Anne of Green Gables. And Christine just put out a video if you want to see her progress on it. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, with these Lena Ova patterns, I'm thinking I might pick and choose, like not do the full amounts. So for example, with this one, I don't know if I do the complete outer edge. In a perfect world, I'd just do the circle. I'm just not sure about finishing that. but then there's also this section which you could square off. What I might do is just do the circle part in the middle part and then see if I need to add anything else. But I'm almost sure I don't know if I need to add the final. Who knows? Once I look at it, it might look a little plain. But so that one's beautiful. I love that one. And you can see it's going to feed my need for monochromatic. Then Crystal from Skoldsbane, Crystal, did I say that right? Is stitching, nope, that's not what she's stitching. Where is it? Oh, I gotta go this way. She's stitching Mary Poppins, also from Lena Ova. And Crystal has picked, if you go see her latest video, I'm almost sure it's on her latest one. I'll link both Christine and Crystal. She picked a beautiful color fabric with it. It really was striking. And so I said, well, this week they've both shown their projects and they're beautiful, and Lena Ova's having a sale until the first week of August. So, you know, it just made sense. This one again, I think what I might do is just stitch the inner square and not necessarily do the outer border. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I think because I just love the inside stuff, so I think that's what I might do. And then this one I picked up because I was thinking, this is a set of 6, and I'm thinking one of those might work. You know how I'm stitching Summer Quaker, and I don't want to do the mermaid, but I do have the little turtle, sea turtle from La Selva Designs, but it's going to be tight because it's pretty big in that space. So I would stitch these on their own anyway, but I thought they might also work, one of the pieces somewhere, whether it's this sea turtle here or some of the shells or some of the other fish, the starfish, I don't know. So I picked that up because I thought, well, that's perfect to see if I could use it for Summer Quaker. And hello, I would do these kind of in that blue. I think I would do, I like that blue. Maybe do like, I could see something like this Sensitive Sylvie and then do a dark blue against that. I think that would be really nice. Ooh, and that's 20 count. I bet you, I wonder if I could find some good Sulky. That would be nice. So those are the 3 I bought. Now, I could be convinced to stitch some with, go and see, they have, if you like literary, there's a lot of literary ones. These 2 I just picked just to show a couple others. I haven't bought them, but I could be convinced to start them with you if you are so inclined. This one, I think, oh, it's a Jane Austen. I don't know if it's Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility. Now this one, I would only do the inside. I mean, the outsides are beautiful. It really is gorgeous, but I really like the inside part. And then Allison from Cross Stitch the Globe, are you watching? Cinderella. And this one I might, if I was to stitch this, I might do the flowers because it kind of goes with everything, but you could also do the inner just square right there. So I could be convinced to start that, get that and start that if anybody's so inclined to stitch it. And I can stitch it with somebody else too. But there's other ones too. If you like Dracula, if you like, there's a cute little mermaid one. There's the Wizard of Oz one. Was a little spooky, I guess was the one, a better word for it. So I wasn't sure about that one, but go and see if there's anything. They're interesting and they're beautiful. I have no idea on the size of them. I didn't look at that. So especially because I think I'd be cutting them down. So it would be a little different. So that's it for shopping. Now giveaways, they are doing something for our Wi-Fi, cable, whatever you want to say, streaming. And I have just not been able to get on as often. We've lost Wi-Fi, and without it, you can't do anything here. We don't have cable. We actually stream our TV, so you can't even do TV. So I was not able to go online and pick and this and that. So we're going to skip a week on the giveaways. Chubby Fox is the one. Go back to last week's video if you want to put your name in for the potential to win Chubby Fox. And they're telling us, well, the outages started Monday and then Tuesday, and then they said, we're doing the work Wednesday, then they left. They said, well, it'll be happening Thursday, then they left. And now they're telling us Friday. So I have no idea anymore. Hopefully by the end of this week, they've done what they need to do. But we have intermittently lost. And Mo, I feel bad for Mo. Well, he needs to get his work done, because I was going to say he can't work, but he relies on the Wi-Fi for work to be able to do anything. We can't even make phone calls because we do Wi-Fi calling, because it's kind of a dead zone down here. So it makes it really tough for him to work when it keeps cutting in and out. And I'm way behind on my floss tubes, because since it was cutting in and out, I'm just going into life at this point. So if you don't want to hear about any of this, I'll see you next time. Thank you for being here. It kept cutting in and out, so I actually went to my Libby app through the library, and I was just like, what's available book-wise, because I have a few I'm waiting on, and I just picked something, and I was just listening to it all week, because I couldn't get on to watch floss tubes. So that means I'm way behind on I'm way behind on floss tubes at this point. Oh boy. Anyway, so that's been my week. So we'll pick that up next week, type of thing, because you'd be surprised how much you rely on the internet when you don't have it. So life-wise at this point, so I mentioned that Megan and Liz are coming down tonight, and they are staying through Thursday. Yay! So it's good. I'm so excited to see them. We haven't seen them for a while, and we went shopping this morning already. I think I really frazzled Mo, because I was like, well, they like this, so let's buy this, and it wasn't on the list. I don't know about you, but so we go to the grocery store for a list. I go off list probably the second I step into the store. I'll be like, oh, we need this, or oh, that's on sale. Drives him nuts. But I think he's come to just, I wouldn't say find it lovable about me, but he's come to just accept the fact that I don't follow a list at all at the grocery store. And so I was going way off list, and we went to a different grocery store because we were hoping to be able to do the little hand scanner things, but we'd never signed up for it before. It's 6:30 in the morning. They have nobody in customer service, and they said you need to be at customer service to set up for it. So that was kind of a bummer. But we hadn't been at the store in a while, several months, and so we'd go by an area and then be like, oh, we forgot this. And so we kept going back and forth, and it was a little all over the place. It wasn't the best grocery shopping experience ever. But it was quiet, so I'll give it that. There was way more employees doing all of the stocking and getting ready for summer weekend. We were going down, well, we were looking for Stacy's pita chips because the girls requested the pita chips. And they're never in the chip aisle, but we were down the chip aisle, and the guy had all these things that he was putting in, and he was like, yeah, sorry, it's like an obstacle course. Excuse me. I said, well, I mean, it's Friday for a summer weekend. You must go through the chips like crazy. And he said he had 6 more big, huge things that would be going on the shelves over the course of the weekend, because that's how many chips get bought. But, so, I was driving Mo a little bit crazy. I'm like, oh, they'll like that. And oh, they like that. And if they don't eat it while they're here, then they can just take it home with them. So anyway, I bought way more groceries than I probably needed, but that's okay. And so, yeah, so I have no idea what our plans are. The weather keeps saying it's one thing or that thing or whatever. So we want to go out a few times, but you want to eat outside and this, that, and the other. So we're just going to wing it and do what we do whenever we do it. Which means, like I said, this weekend, I don't know if I'll be around a lot or a little. Depends on the weather and what's going on. So if I don't get to see everybody on the Zooms, well, I hope you have a fabulous, fun weekend of Zooming, because it's 24 hours of cross stitch, and it's midsummer stitch, and all of this kind of fun stuff. So I hope you all enjoy it if I don't get a chance to see you. Hopefully I can pop in. But Sunday is Mo's birthday, so we're definitely going to do bowls in the beach as long as the weather holds out. So super excited with that. And then I don't know what else. We're kind of just playing it by ear. But that's that. And that's going to be my week. So we will see. Mo's he took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off because Thursday, at some point they'll be leaving. So we probably wouldn't do much on Thursday. So he's taking some time off, which is fun, and just looking forward to it. So yeah, so that'll be my week. We'll see. Weather permitting, we may or may not have adventures. If not, it'll be just fun to have a visit. And I'll get some stitching in, because you know me. I always have to stitch. Every day. Every single day, you got to put some X's in. All right, so that's really about it. Whatever you are doing this weekend, if you're joining in on stuff, if you've got other things happening, if you are just lifing it up somehow or other, I hope it's a great weekend, and I hope it's a fantastic week coming up. I think the week is quiet otherwise this week, besides just the girls being around. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you're well. I hope you are safe. Are you doing the Olympics? I'd love to know if you are joining in on that. I think it's going to be so much fun. I did the Winter Olympics last time that she did it, and I really enjoyed it, the event. Are you doing 24 hours of cross stitch? Are you going to the Midsummer Magic Stitch, as I like to say? All that fun stuff. So whatever's going on, I hope it is fantastic for you. And as always, remember that you are important. And so what brings you joy is important. And please, please give some time just for yourself and what you like to do, because there's just nothing more important than you. You are you, and you need to feed that soul of yours. So please do so. And until next time, happy stitching.